Hello, I'm Marianne Lee of Fantasy Alarm, and here are 4 DFS Contrarian picks right here in the Contrarian corner. Well, okay, really, they're just the players that are lower on the NFL ownership report because it is really difficult to get Contrarian in a small slate. So, you know what? It's the divisional round, so let's check it out. Blake Bortles is $7,100 on FanDuel and $5,000 on DraftKings, with a projected ownership between 2.8 and 5.4%. Okay, yes, laugh it out. The idea that Blake Bortles brought up LeBron James in a comparison type situation on a mic ever is absurd, agreed. But from weeks 12 to 16, Blake Bortles scored between 18 and 25 fantasy points every single week. He was the #1 scoring fantasy quarterback in the playoffs for your playoffs. That's right. He can do it. Was he terrible last week? Yes. Was he terrible in a meaningless game against the Titans in week 17? Absolutely. But does he have the ability to put up 20 plus fantasy points in a game? Yes. Just go look at the game log. Now, will the Jags get behind and have to play catch up? And before you say, oh no, the Jaguars have a great defense, we agree on that. But the Steelers' defense can also score points on Blake Bortles' turnovers. So yes, Bortles could be a garbage time sensation, and you could be one of the only people to benefit from it if it comes to fruition. And again, I have ridden the Blake Bortles pony to many a fantasy championship. I'm not proud of it, but winning is winning. Money is money. And he could also get roasted. But this is why he's a contrarian pick. So whatever. Jay Ajayi is $6,900 on FanDuel, $4,600 on DraftKings, with a projected ownership between 3.1 and 7.4%. The Philadelphia Eagles decided to hold out Jay Ajayi in Week 17, and that's because they believe he is vital to the potential success of this team. He's had 14 or more touches in each of his last 3 games played. He hasn't gone over 89 total yards and only scored 1 touchdown over that time, but if the Eagles stand a chance, they will need to run. And that's because Nick Foles is under center. Now also, this team is the underdog, even though they are the #1 seed in the NFC. He and the entire team could be extra motivated. So you could differentiate yourself with an extra motivated key piece of an offense, and that seems like a pretty good deal. Stephon Diggs is $7,300 on FanDuel, $6,200 on DraftKings, with a projected ownership between 5.0 and 6.1%. If you followed me or any of my work this season, you know that I am the president of the Adam Thielen fan club. Now, to be fair, I know that I compete with a lot of folks here at fantasyalarm.com for that position, but anyway, Adam Thielen is a Pro Bowler, a known commodity. Who do you think that the Saints are game planning for? Now, this is nothing against Stephon Diggs, but the Saints know that Keenum is his best when he has his Thielen security blanket, and they will do what they can to rip that blanket away and tell Keenum he's a big boy now and he's going to have to go to school without the damn blanket. Well, you know what that means? That means that Keenum has to find something else for comfort. Maybe a little Stephon Diggs self-soothing. And let's face it, that's what's been going on for weeks. Thielen hasn't gone over 61 yards or scored a touchdown since week 14. And over that same 3-week span, Diggs has at least 5 catches and scored a touchdown in each of those 3 games. Now, people are worried about Marshawn Lattimore, as they should be. But Diggs has 23 red zone targets over the last 2 seasons. He's caught all of them. And of those 23 catches, 8 were for touchdowns. So basically, this matchup is great versus great, and it could go either way. And in that spirit, I find this low projected ownership out of bounds. And Josh Hill is $4,700 on FanDuel and $2,600 on DraftKings, with a projected ownership between 0.6 and 3.6%. In week 1, when the Saints first played Minnesota, Kobe Fleener led the Saints with 5 receptions for 54 yards and a touchdown. And last week, Josh Hill caught 3 of his 4 targets for 49 yards and a touchdown. Now, Fleener won't be there this week because his season ended on IR, so there is a very interesting possibility that Hill will get involved. But yes, it is super risky. It's contrarian. Hill only had one touchdown over the entirety of the regular season, but the Minnesota Vikings defense is brutal. If the Saints want to win, they will have to get creative. They will need to mix it up to avoid elite packages from the opposition. On Friday, late afternoon, the Saints announced that Brandon Coleman is out for the divisional round matchup. He was the creativity target. And I think that makes Hill the guy to fill in. Now, Hill is a touchdown-dependent dart throw that I'm highlighting due to a projected game plan. But I don't coach the team, so yeah. If you like getting contrarian, then you will love this new way to play fantasy. You gotta go check out Draft Easy. Go to fantasyalarm.com/drafteasy and enter the promo code ALARM. You can actually see all this information right down here. And if you do that, then Draft Easy will match your deposit up to $100, which is awesome. For Fantasy Alarm, I'm Marianne Lee. Good luck during the divisional round. You've got this.